You remember when President Obama said, "I will close Guantanamo Bay"? Yeah, that was about 5 years ago. I don't know if you know this, it's still open. So now he was asked about it at his press conference today, and he came out fired and saying, "Hey, man, it's really got to go."
I continue to believe that we've got to close Guantanamo. I think, well, I think it is critical for us to understand that Guantanamo is not necessary to keep America safe. It is expensive. It is inefficient. It hurts us in terms of our international standing. It lessens cooperation with our allies on counterterrorism efforts. It is a recruitment tool for extremists. It needs to be closed.
And that's why I haven't closed it in 5 years. Basically, he's saying, Gitmo. But unfortunately, he hasn't done anything about it. Now, look, I know the Republicans are fighting him tooth and nail on that. But do you know that there's 166 detainees there, 86 of which we have said are free to go, except they can't go because we can't find any countries that'll take them, and we don't want to release them in the United States. Now, look, if the president wanted to, it is within his executive power to say, these guys are cleared for release. They are not guilty. I'm going to let them go. And he can strike a deal with, for example, Yemen. But there's political pressure here to say, don't send them back to Yemen because we're worried that al-Qaeda is strong in Yemen. I know, but they're cleared for release. They're not guilty. So what do you want me to do? Hold people we know are not guilty forever? That makes no sense. If you're a strong president, here's what you say. I've got a supermax prison for the 80 that I'm worried about that are not cleared for release. I got a supermax prison in Colorado. That's where I'm sending them. Now, I hope you're not going to denigrate American security and American guards and personnel at that prison by saying that we can't handle by a bunch of two-bit terrorists here, okay? We already have terrorists there. We have Sheikh Rahman, who was the original 1993 World Trade Center bombing. He's in Colorado. We've got Terry Nichols, who was part of the Oklahoma City bombing. He's in Colorado. We got the Unabomber. He's in Colorado. We've got all those terrorists. We can handle them fine. And the other 86, here are your choices. I could release them to Yemen, or I could release them in Kansas. Where would you like it? Oh, no, but they would cry. Yeah, they would cry. And they'd say, oh, well, it's dangerous, etc. Okay, well, your choice. I'm sending them to Yemen unless you tell me to send them to Kansas. And if you tell me to send them to Kansas, you did that. I was going to bring them to Yemen. See, that's how you play poker. But of course, President Obama doesn't play poker that way. He does it by saying, I'll tell you what, I've got a great hand, and that's why we should close Gitmo, and I fold. So here's more of him telling us why he shouldn't fold as he folds.
I don't want these individuals to die. Obviously, the Pentagon is trying to manage the situation as best as they can. But I think all of us should reflect on why exactly are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
Exactly. Now, 100 of the 166 are on a hunger strike. 21 are already being force-fed, and there are now worries that several of them might die. So why are we doing this? Do you know that 54 of them, our current plan for them is to never try them? They're not set for release. They're not among the people we're going to bring to justice, such as it is, and it's through military tribunals. We should bring them to civilian courts. Whatever your disagreements on that are, you can't argue with the 54. I mean, who are we? Aren't we America that stands for justice and rule of law? For 54 of them, whether they're in Gitmo or they're in Colorado, it doesn't matter. We say, we don't have enough evidence to try you, and we don't want to release you, so we're never going to give you a trial. That's insanity. That's the most un-American thing I've ever heard. Now, President Obama continues to talk about that.
I mean, the notion that we're going to continue to keep over 100 individuals in a no man's land in perpetuity, even at a time when we've wound down the war in Iraq, we're winding down the war in Afghanistan, we're having success defeating al-Qaeda core. We've kept the pressure up on all these transnational terrorist networks. When we've transferred detention authority in Afghanistan. The idea that we would still maintain forever a group of individuals who have not been tried, that is contrary to who we are, it is contrary to our interests, and it needs to stop.
Oh, it needs to stop. If only there were a president who could make that happen. Then why don't you stop it? Oh, but the Republicans are fighting me. Okay, I got a crazy idea. Fight back. But you know what? In the next clip, he basically admits why he's not fighting back.
It's a hard case to make because, I think for a lot of Americans, the notion is out of sight, out of mind. And it's easy to demagogue the issue. That's what happened the first time this came up.
So, since it's a hard case to make to the Americans and the other side's demagoguing, I'm Obama. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fold. I'm going to do the wrong thing. And by the way, again, if they were in Gitmo or they're here in the United States, it doesn't really matter because President Obama is saying, I don't know where to release those 86 who should be released, and the 54 I'm going to indefinitely detain anyway, no matter where they are. I wish President Obama from time to time would actually listen to what President Obama is saying and act on it. But he doesn't have the courage of his principles, and he doesn't have the stomach for the fight. So those people will stay in Guantanamo probably for the rest of Barack Obama's term. If a Republican wins, probably indefinitely. If a Democrat wins, probably indefinitely. Isn't that crazy? Gee, I wonder why the U.S. has lost respect all throughout the world.